All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation, YouTube station? I'm back. Got my guy Gyiraszin like I do each and every Tuesday here. Gyiraszin, you were through the old whirlwind of internet problems this afternoon here. People can't keep it on the road. They can't miss huge telephone poles on the side of the street. They're pretty hard not to see there. Apparently, someone over there in Michigan, maybe they had one too many safety meetings, one too many.
I heard it was Bryson.
Yeah, right. It was Bryson. Hey, hopefully not, because I want to see Bryson hit some golf balls this weekend there as we head up to have a little celebratory, little SHIPIT, little gathering this weekend. So that should be fun there. But you had quite the afternoon there, man. I'll bring you in. What's going on, brother? Happy Tuesday. How we doing, man?
Yeah. It's been fun. I mean, it's been raining a little bit here today, and then I was working all day. I get home. It's like 2:30. I'm like, all right, got some time. Let's look at the slate tonight. Let's have some fun, ship some money. And I'd be damned. The wife sends me a text as I was carving down food. It says, did you see that Xfinity tweet or text that the internet's down? And I was like, for what? She's like, oh, apparently there was an accident up the road. So some donkey which I saw, I didn't put it together when I came in the sub. Some donkey hit the pole on the corner. Probably left the local bar up here because everybody gets screwed up there. That's just the way it works, Nades. I mean, it's like Cocaine City up there at the little pub by my house. I mean, all the daytime, they sit out there like it's like their jobs. I guess it is, but either way. But, yeah, we got some fun planned this week. So all the SHIPIT boys are coming to Michigan this week for this live event, which literally is at a golf course, which I can't believe is even being discussed as like for a pro event. Like that used to be like the $30 track that's behind the church that they put a hotel in front of, Nades. Like, and then I found out, so I was asking some of the boys around the neighborhood, if you're PGA affiliated, like with the PGA and you're a course, you can't host a live event. They won't let you, you can't do it. So there's only certain amount of courses that are not affiliated with the PGA to where a live event can even go to. So apparently they're about to sign some 6-year deal where the finals are going to be here at this Michigan course here for the next like 5 or 6 years or some crap. And I'm just like, I mean, literally they're going to be invading the bars Hoop and I go to. Like I said, like we're stuck here like in the movie Lost. We've been stuck here forever. Well, and all these fools are going to come here in town, Nades, but, they're going to be invading our space. But they already got the freeways blocked off with roads. Go park here, parking A over here, C over there, whatever over here. But whatever, it's good times, good event for the town. I'm glad you guys all get to come in. We can have some fun. I guess we're going to go to some bar in Detroit on Friday next by the casino. And they got some pool and darts and bowling and all that fun stuff. So not the real bowling, like that little, I don't know, whatever they
not the Gyiraszin bowling where he can sandbag and fucking take off.
Yeah, not where I'd literally suck too. The first few games be like, yeah, guys, I suck. And then when we throw some ducats on the table, I'd be throwing my 250s on your ass like it was my job.
Yeah, hey, we gotta get at Tambo coming off his darts championship out at the live final for DraftKings there. So yeah, fun weekend ahead planned with the SHIPIT Nation's crew. Not the whole crew is gonna be there, titles. Enjoying some time with his wife over in Greece for the next 2 weeks leading up to NFL. Some of the guys can't make it there, but overall should be a fun weekend. And we got
it. Yeah, that's what it's called, candlepin bowling.
Yeah, there you go.
Woody for the win. Woody,
you gotta love it. Michael W in here, Little Neck post owner, Jason Turner. I'm gonna save Max for a little bit later there. Richie Smalls, see ya, Rob Davis, Jake, Paul. Woody, Stoner, everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Gyiraszin, we got Coors Field again. We got the Dodgers again. We got another lefty on the mound. It's not Kyle Freeland. It's another soft-tossing guy that allows more power than Kyle Freeland does. Austin Gomber on the mound facing the Dodgers here. Dodgers did not get the job done yesterday. Talked about it heavily on the show yesterday of being underweight on the Dodgers, being over on teams like the White Sox, who definitely got the job done yesterday overall. So looking to run back some of the good takes that we did have from yesterday. A lot of the same teams on the slate here. In terms of weather, there's no real weather concerns across the board here. So it should be a pretty clean slate overall in general. Any broad slate overview from you before we jump in and talk these 10 games here?
No, I mean, anytime you get a big whopping team like the Dodgers out there in Coors, it's so enticing to click that. I was in some of the tournaments yesterday, and I was in, I think I was in that $55 Grand Slam, and literally Mookie Betts was like 60% owned. I was just sitting there kind of laughing, and of course, Nades, I decided myself I was going to go against the two shitty bullpens, and I decided to go Indians last night, and that didn't work out. And I went Reds last night. That didn't work out. That's what I get from being from Michigan and betting on them Ohio teams. I should know damn better than that, Nades. What was I thinking? Damn it.
Yeah, I went the Reds yesterday too, but I did have my fair share of White Sox and my fair share of Braves. So that was fun overall there. Gyiraszin, I got the broad slate overview up here, and again, we got the Dodgers, like I said, in higher implied run total than they had yesterday here, but we don't have the same kind of pitching landscape we did yesterday. It's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be harder to even afford the Dodgers than it was yesterday with the arms that guys wanted to throw yesterday. Obviously, Nasty Nestor got shellacked, so that didn't work out, but we did have a lot of cheap arms yesterday. Realistically, you got two cheap arms today. It's Bryce Elder, who I don't think is a very good pitcher, and then Emmett Sheehan, who is the other cheap arm that people want to click. Maybe a little bit of Walker Buehler, not much. But realistically, it's a spend-up arm slate overall. We do have some good spend-up arms on the slate. We have Brandon Woodruff up at the top, Carlos Rodon, Joe Ryan, Pivetta, Hunter Green. And then you kind of drop down. You got Jacob Lopez in that mid-tier, who I think is a really interesting play in general. But if you see the dry run here up on the screen, it's kind of Hunter Green and then one of Sheehan or Bryce Elder along with the Dodgers. If you don't, if I go to not by projected and go back to like Saber score, you're going to see if you're not spending up at pitcher or if you're not spending down at pitcher, you're going to see Baltimore kind of pop in there against Walker Buehler because two things. You're going to get leverage off of Walker Buehler in Dodger stacks. And instead of playing Walker Buehler down at the or playing the cheap pitchers down at the bottom, you're double spending up. So when people are spending down and maybe clicking Walker Buehler to afford their Dodgers, you have two spend up arms and you're getting leverage off of Walker Buehler. So the Baltimore Orioles, I think, makes a lot of sense when we get to the hitting environment there. But that's kind of the landscape of what the pitching shakes out to be. It's going to be Hunter Green, Elder, Sheehan, Pivetta are kind of be the guys that get some ownership there. Shane Baz is going to get some ownership too in the mid tier, just at 7,700, because again, it's going to be how many Dodgers can people afford, how many Dodgers can they play in their lineup. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices if you do want to 5-stack the Dodgers at the pitching. And like I said, we do have some really good arms up at top. So 8K and above, you got Seth Lugo all the way up to Brandon Woodruff. Talk about Jacob Lopez coming in pretty low owned in general here. High strikeout arm, especially against righties there. The Twins do have a lot of lefties to throw at them, but I just haven't been enthused with how the Twins have been as of late. I think Jacob Lopez is a really, really solid play up here that not many people are going to click. And then definitely break down the top tier with Hunter Green, Pivetta, Joe Ryan. Rodon and Woodruff are kind of getting left in the dust. Talk about them. Any interest in them all the way up over 10K? What's your breakdown here, 8K and above?
Yeah, Lopez is a little bit interesting from just looking at his last few starts. I mean, he's been pretty good. I mean, but he has been, he had a couple 30-point games, but his strikeout percentage has been pretty good to the left side, right side, 30%, 30.5% to left, 27 to the right side. He's fly ball percentage is kind of scary at 54% pretty much, or actually I'm looking at his ground ball percent. His fly ball percentage actually is higher to the right side, 38%. I was looking at that backwards. I guess my eyeballs aren't working. But he does have more of a ground ball lean to the left side. So, I mean, you just look at some of these righties and the fly ball percentage, some of the power numbers that you look under the hood here, you know, they got some righties on this Twins team that have some power. Buxton, Jeffers, Royce Lewis, top of this lineup. So I'm not really sure how much I like Lopez. I think you got 5 guys up at the top of the slate here that do have some pretty good strikeout percentages of the top 5 when you look at the higher end. But I think Lopez is more of like kind of a pivot for me. I'm not really interested in Kelly. But then if you go backwards up here from Hunter Green, I like the price at $9K. I like the matchup here against the Angels. The Angels got some strikeouts in that lineup, especially against the right side. So, I mean, Hunter Green looked pretty good coming back off that IL. He had, usually you kind of worry about pitch counts coming off the IL, but he had 6 scoreless innings. He had no walks, 6 strikeouts, 85 pitches. I know his velocity was up there, so that's pretty good. So I think he's definitely in play. I think of the top 5, I think between him and Pivetta, I like them both probably pretty close to the same. I mean, Pavetta's got a handful of guys here, 5 batters in that Giants lineup that got over 25% K rate to the right side. Pavetta's pitch counts there. I mean, between Green and Pivetta, those are the 2 that I pretty much like the most up here at the top. So, Joe Ryan against the A's, I'm just not really there. He just doesn't seem – I just don't like his matchup here with the lefties. I mean, you don't get too many strikeouts out of the A's. I don't know. I think there's better matchups to be had. I think that one would be kind of used more of a pivot. Rendon's not bad either. He's been really good against lefties. But, the Rays righties aren't really something that I'd really be afraid of anyway, except for really Caminero. But other than that, I think that's a decent matchup. And I would like Woodruff, but, his last time out, he got pulled a little bit early. Now he gets a matchup here against the Cubs, which, I'm not really fond of really picking on the Cubs too much. But, Woodruff's been really good. He's got some upside. I just don't like the matchup. I just don't like where his pitch count is compared to some of these other guys. But for me, man, I think Green and Pivetta for me are my 2 favorite in out of the whole group here. I get that some people might want to pay up for some Dodgers, but I think I would on DK pretty much go Pivetta and Green would be my favorite 2.
Yeah, I'll start with I'm right there with you. Hunter Green's my favorite pitcher on the slate. Pavetta's right there behind him, so I like those 2 the most. Then I actually like Jacob Lopez and Carlos Rodon. Joe Ryan kind of comes in 5th for me above 8K. Like I said, I think Rodon is very good. Nobody's going to click that name up at the top tier. You look at his K prop, 5.5, heavy juice on the over, -155 in many of the books, like DraftKings. FanDuel has it, same thing. MGM has it -155 as well. So good K prop there on Carlos Rodon. Ownership's held in check. I like that. Jacob Lopez, 5.5 K prop, juice on the over. I like that. Nick Pivetta, 6.5 K prop, juice on the under there. Joe Ryan does have 6.5, heavily juiced to the over there. I have a hard time with Joe Ryan. I think he's solid. It's just the thing that's going to help him is he's still going to probably see 5 righties here where his strikeouts do. That's where you do get your strikeouts. But again, he does struggle with some lefty power in general. Let me see. The A's lineup confirmed is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so only 4 lefties here. You look at Joe Ryan last 30 days against lefties, 26% K rate. You look at him against righties, 31% K rate here. However, you look at the A's, they just don't K. This team just has not been striking out. Last 30 days against right-handed pitching, sub 20% K rate there, and Joe Ryan's going to get some ownership. So I would rather just shift to guys like Pivetta and Hunter Green myself, or get up, find the $200 and get up to Carlos Rodon. Joe Ryan's still a good play. He's still fine. I am a little bit concerned about his pitch count. The Twins just have nothing to play for, and Joe Ryan is their pitcher of the future, right? I don't know when they're going to start dialing this dude back in pitch count, Gyiraszin. I don't know if you have any insight on that, but I'm just a little bit worried about them throwing and trotting Joe Ryan out there and letting him throw 95 to 100 plus pitches. I just don't think that's in the deck of cards. We saw it with Woodruff last start, right? Unexpectedly gets pulled after 60 pitches or whatever it was. I think it was like 55, 60 pitches, something like that. I'm a little bit worried on Joe Ryan getting cut a little bit short here. So for me, it's Rodon, Pivetta, Green, Lopez are my 4 favorite guys up here. You can leave Joe Ryan in the pool, but I'm looking at the other 4 first for the most part. Any take on Joe Ryan expected potentially get cut a little short here in terms of pitch count?
No, I mean, I haven't heard of anything much, but usually when I'm looking for something like that, I'll go right to the beat writers for that, certain team. But yeah, I mean, I think any of the 5 top guys there, the top 5 price guys there on DK, to me, are all in play. Really, I can't. You normally we have like I feel like I'm looking for a reason not to like these guys instead of looking for a reason to like them. So, if that makes sense. So, I mean, to me, I think all 5 of those guys are in play. So then, to me, it just kind of, and let's even throw Lopez in there. Let's say 6. So, to me, at that point, I'm kind of want to maybe mix up and play a little bit of an ownership game. If you're looking for Dodgers, man, that Dodger lineup yesterday, when I saw the bottom half of that Dodger lineup, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it's garbage. It's trash. I mean, I was like, it was just trash, I thought. So, yesterday I wasn't really all that thrilled with the Dodgers myself, but I think you're still going to see a bunch of ownership on the Dodgers today, which, if that's the case, I mean, I kind of like slates where I feel like there's something I really don't like as much as everybody else that they're all going to. I feel like it's a royal slate for me. Like, I don't really like the Dodgers all that much here today. They might go off, who knows? But, I just I don't like them as much as I probably should with them being in Coors Field. But I think there's some other spots we can look at. But I think pitching today, I think, unless you want to go down to some of these, other cheap guys, which, we can get into and talk to now, but like, the E-Rods against the Indians, like, do you want to stomach that? Like, there's a lot to be said for that. Or do you want to stomach a Shane Baz who's like, Buster Boom, like the dude's just, he's either 35 points or he's freaking -5. Like, he's just not really that good. So, there's definitely some guys that could definitely get the job for you, the Sheehans, the Elders. I'm not really sure I want to go there either. So to me, I just think it's some like smoke and mirrors with the pitching. I think there's too many good options up here at the top that could get us. Like, I don't see, of the 5, let's call it 6 with Lopez. I mean, I don't see more than 3 of them busting, like having a shit night. So I think you got to have a couple of these guys. There's too many good guys up at the top to not to, for these guys all to fail. I mean, we've seen it a couple of weeks ago. We saw 4 or 5 of the starter, the SP1s, had a bad night, but you know what? Then a majority of the ownership's going to be there. I mean, it's going to be within those 5. But I mean, looking at the 5, I mean, obviously Ryan is going to be and Rodon are going to have the lowest ownership of the 3. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind any of them really. I think they're all in play. I think it's to me, I think just Green and Pivetta for what I'm looking for upside. Just give me the upside I want. And it's going to give me some more bats that I need. Like paying up for Woodruff. Really between Green and Woodruff, they should take those 5 and take the salaries and go like that. You know what I mean? Like Woodruff should be where Green is and Green should be where Woodruff is and switch the other dudes. It's kind of the way I feel. I mean, that's the way I like him, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting pitching slate. At least there's more options today than I feel like I've had in the last couple times, we've been on, or the last few times in the show. Because shit, the other day with title, I know there was only like 5 games. We only had like 4 pitchers in our pool or something. Like, a lot of times there's just, with all these openers and everything else. But yeah, I just think I don't want to get too cute at pitching today. I just don't feel the need.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said there. It's definitely a prioritized pitching for me, spend up. So if that means I'm underweight on the Dodgers, which I already wanted to kind of be with everybody flocking back to them, and people might think, oh, they're going to come in lower owned than what they were yesterday because they flopped and all of this. I mean, anytime a team is applied for 7.5 runs against a lefty in Coors Field, I mean, they're not going to come in under owned, regardless of what they did yesterday. I mean, they could have scored negative runs yesterday. People will still click those buttons there. So for me, it's definitely pitcher over Dodgers hitters for me, which is definitely an important talking point of the slate. You're going to have to make the decision there. So if people do want to play the Dodgers, which they definitely can, let's talk about these cheap pitchers on this slate below 8K. You got Shane Baz at 7,700 pitching in that crackerjack ballpark there against the boom bust, strikeout or home run type offense in the Yankees there, which can go south in a hurry. But again, he can pick up strikeouts there. I think he gets played a decent amount at 7,700. That's a fair price point for his ceiling and his upside that he can display. Tanner Bibee and Erod are the other two guys that I'm looking at the most part. I think people are going to click Elder. People are going to click Sheehan down at the bottom. I just don't like those. I don't think they have upside personally. I think Elder's not a great pitcher. I don't think Sheehan's very good. He's a fly ball guy in Coors Field in 90-degree weather. I just don't love it. I see some talks about Walker Buehler. Personally, I'm not playing Walker Buehler at this point of his career, even at 5,500, because again, if I'm making a choice between Walker Buehler in the Dodgers bats or a spend up arm like a Pivetta or a Hunter Green, and finding one of the other 9 teams on the slate besides the Dodgers, or one of the other 19 teams on the slate besides the Dodgers to come close to scoring, I'm going to side with that 10 out of 10 times here. So for me, the only 3 guys that I like really down here are Baz, Bibee, and Erod, kind of in that upper 7K range. Shane Smith might be a little interesting there, but realistically, it's Erod, Bibee, and Baz for me. What's your breakdown below 8K? People are going to have to come down here if they do want to 5-stack those Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Baz at 7,700. I mean, he's somebody I'd consider, but A's get the Yankees. I mean, you hope he gets in a pitching matchup with Rodon, and he ends up giving you 5-6 good innings possibly. I mean, but 4 or 5 even. I mean, that guy's just such an up and down. It's just, I mean, you feel like it's just so much of a gamble. I feel like you're just flipping a coin just for your pitcher to hit. I mean, I do like the fact that he did have over 90 pitches his last start. I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, you look at everybody else down there. I mean, I'm not really a fan of Elder and Sheehan. I don't care how much they cost, to be truthful. I mean, maybe I'd like to play Erod. I think Erod's interesting because I really would rather play lefties against the Indians. The Indians just don't hit lefties all that hard. They don't have much power against the lefties. They have a couple bats with some decent strikeout percentage. I mean, Fry's at 38%, Reyes 36, Kifus 27, Rocio 27, Hedges 31. I mean, just, there's 5 guys with pretty high strikeout numbers. They do have 3 guys that Kwan don't strike out against anybody. Jose Ramirez doesn't strike out, and Santana really don't strike out. Other than that, they got 1 guy at average, and then they got a handful of guys, 5 guys that are pretty well over the average. So, I think Erod would be a guy that I would kind of maybe take a chance on if I was looking at, one of these guys down here that I would feel, a little bit better about. I mean, than, some of these other guys down here. I mean, I guess Baz and Bibee be the only ones I'd really even think about playing. I mean, I can't stomach a Kyle Hendricks. I can't do that. He don't have any upside. Walker Buehler. I mean, anybody thinking about playing Walker Buehler, come on over to my house because I got a shot glass for you, and I'll get you a bong because it's going to be one of them rough nights, man. It's going to be tough. Playing Walker Buehler on a slate like today, like that's a play for me. Like when there's only 5 games, Nades, like when there isn't as much to fade. You know what I mean? Like I think today there's just too many guys up at the top that are decent. Like we got a half dozen decent options. Like I feel like, 3 of them busting would be a lot to me. So I think those, that's where I want to stay. I think if I went outside that group, maybe Baz, like I said, because he's got the upside. But the Yankees do strike out, but they could rally them and hit 3 homers in a row off them. But I think Erod would be the guy that I think I would take a chance on. He's 6,200. 7,200. I'd rather pay the 500 than take a shot on like Sheehan down here in Colorado, who actually Colorado's has been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I like a lot of what you said here, and I'll just add a little bit more context to it too in terms of K props there. I know Title usually brings up K props a lot as well. Erod 4.5 K prop, juice on the over. You got Shane Baz 5.5 minus 160 on the over, 6.5, some slight juice on the under there. So by far the best K prop on the board below 8K. That's the reason I have interest in there. And yeah, he could get tagged for 2 or 3 home runs against the Yankees. But again, he has just as much upside, in my opinion, to strike out 8 Yankees than some of these other guys on the slate that have the percentage to strike out any of their 8 guys there. So I like Shane Baz the most, I think, down here by far. And then you look at BB and Erod, 4.5 K props, minus 120 on the over for Erod. Tanner BB, minus 150 on the over at 4.5. So for me, that's where I'm kind of living, those 3. And this is kind of what my pitching pool would look like here. I'd have these 8 guys in my pool, which I think is a decent pool overall for 10 games here. These 8. There's definitely guys that are leaving out, but again, I'm not playing Bryce Elder. I was on the White Sox yesterday. I'm going to be back on the White Sox again here. Talked about it in depth yesterday. I don't think Spencer Strider is a worse pitcher than Bryce Elder. So if I had interest in the White Sox yesterday and didn't want to play Spencer Strider, I'm sure in the hell not playing Bryce Elder. I don't care what the price point is against this White Sox team overall. So that's enough on the pitching here. Let me jump over, refresh the stone here. Before I do, it is the last chance. If you're looking for a home for NFL season, look no further than SHIPITNation.com. $349. I was mistaken yesterday when I did speak. It is the last chance. This price is going back to $449 after midnight tonight, I believe. And not only that, you do lose out on your 5 additional bonus ballots for the SHIPIT games, which I talked about yesterday. The prize pool for the SHIPIT games is already up to $79,267 in cash in prizes. That's just a starting point. It will not get less than that. It will only go up from here. Get your 5 extra bonus ballots. Get in now. Get locked in for the entire NFL season. College football, no additional cost. You get access to an optimizer to be able to run 150 lineups as well. Overall, best place to be in the industry for NFL for the cheapest all-in rate. No better time than now to join. Last chance there. Gyiraszin, let's talk about it. First game on the slate here. We do have the Fenway game. In terms of weather here, not the most favorable game for offense here in general. Didn't matter that much. There was some runs scored in this game yesterday. Temperatures in the mid to low 60s here overall. Wind kind of blowing across the field. But again, you got Walker Buehler on the mound. Doesn't strike anybody out. Doesn't really miss bats in general. And then you got Sagano, who I don't think is a very good pitcher in general. 2 middle of the road to bottom of the road bullpens in this one as well. I think this is a pretty interesting game for offense, and ownership's just not going to really be there, I don't think. I like the O's side a decent amount because you can play the O's, you can 5-stack them, and double spend at pitcher, which fits the script on how I want to build here tonight. What's your take in this one in Fenway?
Yeah, I mean, shit, we got Walker Buehler coming right out the gate here. I mean, we definitely like picking on Walker Buehler as we have here in the past. But, I mean, the Orioles haven't been hitting all that well. They haven't been hitting that well in the last couple of weeks. But then Walker Buehler comes into town with his 10% walk rate to both sides of the plate. He doesn't strike out really too many people. He's got a mid-ground ball lean. But, I mean, what kind of worries me here is you get Buehler in here, and then, you know, you look at the bottom part of this Orioles lineup here. I mean, they definitely could get pinch hit Beavers. I mean, we like Beaver. But he definitely could get pinch hit for, as I look at this bullpen here with the Red Sox, and they got a handful of lefties. So they can go left on him pretty quick. So, but, I mean, I don't mind them here. I think, you know, as far as salary goes, they're a cheaper stack that you could probably even use with some Orioles that I think are in a pretty good spot. So I don't mind that. And the other side of this game here with the Red Sox, I mean, I don't mind this really either. I mean, Sagano isn't anybody that we're really too afraid of. He's got a low strikeout rate. He doesn't really walk too many people, but mid-ground ball lean, doesn't really give up too many fly balls. But, you know, you just kind of sit here and look at some of these Boston guys here with some of their fly ball rate. Bregman 33%, Story 27, Yoshida 27. I think they can get the ball up in the air. So, but Sagano just generally doesn't get beat up. Like, you look at his game log, he hasn't gave up more than 4 runs, but maybe once or twice. So, but Baltimore's in the best spot. I think the Red Sox, maybe you could use them for a little bit of mini stack. I don't think I'd go full 5 on the Red Sox, but I think the Orioles are one of my favorite stacks today.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then I like the lefties on the Boston side here, just attacking those fly balls that Sagano gives up. He does have some strikeout ability to lefties, but he allows more power and fly balls there. So guys like Toro hit the ball in the air, switch hitter as well, which is nice. Nate Lowe, Duran, Anthony. I would just focus on the lefties for me for Boston, more mini stack side of Boston. Baltimore, I like them up and down the lineup 1 through 9. Fit the script. Gunnar Henderson, Colton Cowser, 2 of my favorite bats on the slate there against Walker Buehler. Anytime you get a guy that struggles with walk concerns, I'm interested in stacking up. And Boston's bullpen have been one of the worst bullpens in baseball over the last 30 days, which is a nice added bonus there for the Baltimore side. And their ownership is going to be held in check too, which I do like quite a bit. Next game on the slate, we are going to Truist Park here. We're talking about chalk Bryce Elder. The reason being is it allows you to get up to those Dodger stacks that everybody wants to click on. You look at the weather here in Atlanta. Decent overall weather. There's a little bit of concern, I think, for some storms in that, but should be fine in general. Temperatures in the mid-80s for this one. Wind's not really a factor in this one. White Sox, you needed them yesterday. They've been one of the better teams in baseball, especially against right-handed pitching over the last month. Did hurt yesterday that they did lose Colson Montgomery. He went out of that game. That was very tilting to see there. But, again, this team is free. It allows you to spend up for offense. You also get some chalk Elder action, a little leverage on him. And that Braves bullpen is just not good. And they got taxed yesterday after Strider got an early exit in general. So, I'm back in on some White Sox stacks here. I like it less as a full 5-man stack than I did yesterday. But mini stacks I like quite a bit here. Kyle Teal, I think, is a really good play. Talkman, really good play. Sosa's been on fire. Benintendi. I like the top half of the top part of this lineup. Brooks Baldwin hit a bomb yesterday. You can play him at third base, which is very, very nice. Third base sucks. He's 2,800. I'm back in on these White Sox. It's not chasing. They've been one of the better offenses in baseball over the last month, especially against right-hand pitching like I talked about. And Bryce Elder allows a ton of hard contact, doesn't really strike you out in general. And I'm back in. Braves, Shane Smith is the White Sox best pitcher, quote unquote. But again, he's not anything crazy by any means. Then you got that bad bullpen behind. Shane Smith been really good over the last month. Has struggled with some lefties in general. So if I was going to aside for the Braves, it would be the left side. Profar coming off a massive game yesterday, 2 home runs there. Matt Olson, Michael Harris. I think the lefties make some sense here, but I'm more on the White Sox side of this game, I think, from a stack perspective. But Braves going to be low owned again here tonight. Do they do it? What's your breakdown?
Yeah, I like I think I'd prefer the White Sox side over the Braves side. I mean, Shane Smith generally isn't somebody I've been wanting to pick on, but you do look at the last 30 days, as you mentioned. He has been getting beat up by lefties, and he's got almost a 17% walk rate to lefties in the last 30 days. And he's been getting barreled up by lefties at a 13.3% clip. So he's been getting hit hard here by lefties. So, I mean, you got Profar, Olson, Harris, I don't mind. But yeah, I think Olson would be my favorite bat of the bunch here. But you mentioned the White Sox losing their young shortstop there definitely is going to be something that's going to bite them in the ass, because that kid was actually, I mean, I think he's the leader of that team. I mean, that kid is pretty good, Montgomery being. So, I mean, I wish he wouldn't have got hurt yesterday. I think it would be something I would like a little bit more than I like today. But you do mention the lefties. Elder just hasn't been good at all. He's been walking guys like crazy. His wOBAs are up high at both sides of the plate. He's getting barreled up almost 9% to the left side. So, yeah, and you mentioned that bullpen being bad too. I think I'll call the White Sox like the low-owned stack. Nobody's going to play today. I mean, it worked for us yesterday. We can go right back to it today. I mean, that's baseball. I mean, if you're on a low-owned stack and it wins for you, I generally always go back to it. It's kind of like sometimes when you're playing in a tournament in poker, you win a hand, you pretty much got to see the flop, right? I mean, it's kind of the same damn thing. I feel like, I want to see the flop today again with the White Sox, see what happens. So I think they're definitely interesting. Now, Nades, we look at what's going on. You play around with some of the optos that loves the Orioles, right? Like, I'd rather play the White Sox, I think, than a busier Oriole team today. So, I think the White Sox are interesting. It just sucks Montgomery got hurt because I think he's such a big bat in that lineup.
Yeah, I think he is, but again, I mean, this lineup is hitting the ball right now. Kyle Teo hitting third. I like him at a catcher position. I mean, Brooks Baldwin, I really like him a lot. He's got really good metrics against right-handed pitching over the last month. Vargas has been on fire. Sosa's been on fire. Benintendi and Tauchman both bring power from the left side there. So I'm back in on the White Sox side of this game. And then on the Brave side, my favorite bat's actually going to be the catcher, Drake Baldwin. He's got a ton of power. It's a onesie position. He's hitting in the sixth spot. He's getting down the list. Not many people are going to click him. But I think the lefties for me on the Braves definitely fit the script. They're going to be low owned, and they have over a 5 implied run total. Shane Smith isn't anything crazy, and then that White Sox bullpen, like I talked about, is not very good. So I'm right back in on this game. I think it's one of the better games on the slate. Temperatures are decent here as well. You're talking about 20 degrees warmer in this game than it is in the last game out there in Fenway.
Michael Harris is on fire.
Yeah, Michael Harris is he's in the heart of that lineup. He's been smashing baseballs too, so he's really good. Jumping to another good game in terms of weather in this one, upper 80s in this one, wind kind of blowing in here, which does hurt a little bit with the stadium being pretty wind heavy driven overall due to it being a minor league stadium, right, and not having the stands and things like that built up around the stadium. Yankees coming to town, Shane Baz, Carlos Rodon. We talked about both of these pitchers. I'm more on the pitcher side of this game personally myself. You can always pick off some power against Shane Baz, but again, the dude has over a 28% K rate over the last month at both sides of the plate. Just really hard to rally there, especially when you have strikeout bats throughout this lineup. Guys like Stanton, guys like Judge, right? Jazz, Volpe, they all strike out 25+% of the time. It's just hard to really rally. I think the Yankees would be my preferred pivot if spending up on an offense off of the Dodgers. I prefer them as a spend up over the Dodgers personally myself at ownership. But again, that Rays bullpen's good. Shane Baz isn't a terrible pitcher by any means. I think lefty power more is my interest, more as mini stacks on the Yankee side. I'm not going to the Rays side of this one. Yankees deep bullpen has been decent. Carlos Rodon, I expect him to go 6-7 innings, keep the ball on the ground, just kind of skate through it, strike out, 5 to 8 of these guys. And I just don't think you need to go to the Tampa side of this one. But what's your breakdown here?
Yeah, I wouldn't really stretch it too far with these guys. I mean, I'd have to have a handful of teams. I mean, I'd have to be in the 20+ range probably to have any of the Rays. I mean, if you did Rodon, I mean, it's just struggled a little bit, especially with walks against righties in the last 30 days. His fly balls have been up against righties almost 40%. But I mean, he's been getting barreled up to almost 11%. So I mean, maybe like if you wanted to pluck like a Caminero or somebody, I mean, you can always play somebody like that, Yandy Diaz. But I mean, I just feel like I'm reaching. Shane Baz. Yeah, I think you know what, if you're gonna play, if you like Shane Baz and you play, let's say you got him on a, let's say 3 or 4 of your teams. Maybe one of your teams you might want to have the other side. Hey, maybe have some Yankees and not, to kind of cover for yourself. Especially like if you're playing 5 teams and you got Baz on 3 of them, I think one of the other non-Baz teams, I think I would have a mini of some Yankees probably, just to because if he takes a shit, at least you got one of them that's one of your teams is going to be looking pretty good. I mean, just because he's like a Robbie Ray kind of guy, like. You don't know what you're going to get. It's like Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Like you don't know, man. So I think that is definitely something that's in play. But I mean, we got a game total of 8 that probably if we both would have guessed, we probably would have guessed wrong before the game started because we probably thought, oh, Tampa, Yankees, Tampa. I mean, it should probably be 8.5, 9 total. And, seeing that 8 total, I mean, to me, even Vegas doesn't like it. So, yeah, I think I'd just pass.
Yeah, I think my favorite bats from the Yankees are Bellinger, Rice, and Chisholm. Really Rice and Bellinger because they have a ton of power, a ton of fly balls against righties, and they just don't strike out a lot. Jazz does have a ton of strikeout there. Obviously, he has a ton of power too, but Bellinger and Rice, I think, make a pretty interesting 2-man stack there. They're pretty affordable. Bellinger 5,400 isn't crazy. Ben Rice, you can play him at catcher and first base, which is nice, 4,400. They're going to be super low owned there. So I like those two bats quite a bit overall. Next game on the slate, we're going to Minnesota here. Jacob Lopez. I talked about liking Jacob Lopez a decent amount. Vegas likes him. I think he's got a lot of upside here in general. Huge strikeout arm. He is very splits oriented. So again, in general, he's got walks to the right side. He allows power and fly balls to the right side. But his strikeouts, this dude has a 27% K rate to both sides of the plate. He's 8,200. Nobody's going to play him here. And he's facing the Twins. You got guys like Austin Martin in this lineup. As a team, their team ISO over the last 30 days against lefties is under 100. Their K rate's not crazy. But again, a team that just doesn't have a ton of power against left-handed pitching. I think Jacob Lopez can go 6 or 7 innings in this game, pick us up 6 strikeouts and be enough at 8,200. So that's enough to take me off the Twins here. You can always play a one-off Buxton. He has a ton of power always against any left-handed pitcher. And it's not a Cy Young here in Jacob Lopez. So I think Buxton would be the only guy I'd have interest in on the Twin side. A side of things, there's much worse pitchers to stack up. So for me, it's more pitchers in this one. We talked about Joe Ryan having upside there. I just didn't love it a ton. But any interest for you, Gyiraszin, in offense here in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We're sitting here talking about this game in Minnesota here with Joe Ryan and Lopez, who we like. That's got a total of 8.5. And we were just talking about Rodon and Baz. It's got a total of 8. I like the two pitchers in this matchup better than the other one. So, it just seems a little bit off to me. But either way, I think I'm just past. You look at Lopez, man, his numbers are kind of scary against righties. His fly ball percentage is almost double from left to right. His strikeout percentage is there to both sides, but he's not keeping the ball on the ground to the right side. But he's just not he doesn't seem to get beat up. So I just don't think like a big stack would be necessary. But like a Buxton, even if you wanted to go Austin Martin at the top of that lineup, if you maybe get the 5th at bat, Jeffers, if you want a cheap catcher, maybe a little mini there, but I just think there's other spots. I'm just really not overly in love with it.
Yeah, so he gives up a lot of fly balls. Really, the only guy from the right side that hits the ball in the air is Buxton. To be honest, this team has a 24% fly ball rate as a team against left-handed pitching over the last month. Keyshaw and Buxton, I think, are the only two guys I have interest in. And then obviously Austin Martin, just because he's super cheap there. But yeah, I'm definitely on more Lopez over the Twins and definitely Joe Ryan over the A's. So another game where I don't like offense much from. Next game on the slate, Merrill Kelly heading into Kauffman Stadium. Royals hit some home runs for a change yesterday. Didn't quite get all the way there. Royals been one of the best teams in baseball over the last month. I know it's kind of dwarfed a little bit by teams like the Blue Jays and the Brewers, but Kansas City, they've been good. Not quite the same weather as it was yesterday. Some slight wind blowing out yesterday. It's going to be flip-flopped here. Temperatures are also going to be colder than they were yesterday, upper 70s for this game. Some slight wind blowing in here. Merrill Kelly on the mound. Seth Lugo on the mound. Talk about a pitcher that's being broke. Seth Lugo just doesn't look like he's right now. I think the Rangers could be a little interesting. Don't typically like this offense, but they're cheap. They're going to be lower owned than teams like the Orioles, I think. I don't mind some of the Rangers. That KC bullpen is just not very good either, especially since the deadline and all the injuries that they've had. What's your breakdown here in Kauffman? Royals and Texas, I think. Two interesting offenses in general here tonight overall.
I just can't play the Royals. We talk about it. I tell Tide all the time. It's like zipping your dick in your zipper. You just, once you do it, it hurts. You just don't do it again. And you just can't do it, man. They have been hitting a little better. I'll give them a little bit, but I just don't feel like a place for me to play the Royals and step outside my comfort zone with them and to even hop on is on a 10-game slate. So maybe like a 5 or something, maybe on like a Wednesday or Thursday when the slates aren't so big, Nades, I'll think about it. Cause I just don't really like the upside. Now, I think lefties for the Royals are in a pretty good spot though here. Cause Merrill Kelly has been getting beat up by some lefties. Vinny P with his heat stroke that he had, here not too long ago. I mean, Mike Yastrzemski led off the game yesterday with the homer for him. I mean, I thought, yeah, of course. The what is he? The grandson of the Hall of Famer? I think he is, isn't he? Because you got a name like that, that just don't come out too often. I mean, I think he's related to Yaz, but I could be wrong. But I think he's his grandson. But either way, I'm just not really a fan, Nades. I mean, that Texas bullpen isn't really all that good either. I mean, lately it doesn't seem like. But I've been picking on like not playing the Royals. I'm not going to go there today. It's just not for me. So I mean, I'm going to pass. But I will say they do grade out better than they have been in the past for me. I mean, I just can't do it.
Yeah, for me, I like mini stacks. I think a Yaz Vinny P mini stack is very nice. 3,900, 4,300, very, very affordable there. If you want to throw in a guy like a John Rave down at the bottom that has power, Kyle Isbell. Lefties only for me on the Royals for the most part. Yeah, you can always play Bobby Witt, but at 5,900, don't love it. Don't love Garcia getting up to 4,900 there. He hit a home run yesterday. I like Yaz and Vinny P a ton at the top there, and I have a little bit more interested teams than you in Texas overall. I just look at Seth Lugo over the last 30 days, 15% K rate, 14% walk rate, a 242 ISO allowed, ton of power allowed to lefties. So guys like Evan Carter, Corey Seager, Jock Jams, Josh Smith, Rowdy Tellez, Jonah Heim. I think all the lefties for Texas make the most sense. Jock Jams would be the guy I'd be least interested in. I just think he sucks. People are going to play him just because 2,300. I prefer the other guys more. Josh Smith, Corey Seager, Carter, Rowdy Tellez, and then if Jonah Heim's in there, add him as a fifth lefty to target how bad Seth Lugo's been over the last month. I think the Texas Rangers are pretty interesting as a stack.
Yeah, the Royals only got one lefty too, so that kind of takes in the bullpen. So it kind of takes away the pinch hit risk of some of them Rangers.
Yeah, let me just look real quick at the Royals bullpen usage. Lynch will likely come in. He threw 30 pitches on Saturday. He hasn't pitched on Sunday or yesterday. So
I guess they got Zerpa and Lynch, right?
Yeah, Zerpa, and then Zerpa threw on Sunday 18 pitches. So I think they're probably both available. I'm not sure. It depends on, it depends on what the score is of the game, right? If they're going to bring those guys in. But either way, I'm not really too concerned there.
This makes Tellez and Jock Peterson pinch hit risk if they bring in them lefties.
Yeah. I think Jock is going to get pinch hit for first over Tellez personally. I think, but I still like the lefties for the Rangers. Next game on the slate, Brewers and the Cubs. Second game of the doubleheader. First game going on right now. It's in the seventh inning, I believe. Woodruff, Jameson Taillon on the mound. Taillon slated to start today after the game getting postponed yesterday. We talked about that on the show yesterday that we were fading the game with the weather. It did get postponed early, which was nice. Brewers, Cubs, low total in this one. Wind game in Wrigley, wind blown in here. Division rivals, division battle here. Woodruff has struggled against this Cubs offense. If you want a high upside stack, I don't love it personally. There's much worse pitchers to pick on than Brandon Woodruff, regardless of his history, et cetera, against the Cubs. And I think that they benched Kyle Tucker. I saw the buzz about
run out your ground balls, dude.
Yeah,
an asshole, baby.
Well, the dude is batting what? He's got a .081 or he's sub-100 batting average since the All-Star break.
Ain't gonna get you out of it. Work harder, man.
Right, exactly. And I know
as Tambo says, nobody gives a shit. Work harder.
Right, exactly. In terms of this game, I don't love much in this game for offense. As hot as the Brewers have been, I hate playing games in Wrigley with the wind blown in. Jameson Taillon's nothing special. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably prefer the Brewers side. Just in general, I like riding hot teams. They're kind of cooling off a little bit here, but you got pretty heavy wind blowing in here, 10 to 12 miles an hour, which is very, very, that hurts a lot in terms of offense compared to what other stadiums do. Any offense in this one, Brewers and Cubs?
Yeah, I'm not really interested. I think we got 10 games to pick from other than against these two. I mean, if you wanted to pick on Woodruff, you could just go with some righties, but I don't even think you're going to get enough leverage to make it worth it.
Nobody's going to play Woody at the top either, so I'd rather side with playing him as a low-owned option than play the Cubs bats myself. Next game on the slate, we got to talk about it. Dodgers are projected to be even higher owned than they were yesterday. Right now, I mean, you're looking at 130% ownership in terms of a stack for 5 of them. In general, guys at the back half, again, are going to be pinch hit concerns. Miguel Rojas, Alex Call, what any other cheap righty that they throw in there to target the splits of Gomber. Gomber's not any good. He's worse than Freeland. Dodgers, I mean, at these price points, I talked about it. Sheets and I talked about it a lot yesterday. And now you have 2 more games on the slate. I mean, at these price points with the spend-up arms, you can only afford 1 spend-up arm on the slate and 5 stack the Dodgers. Maybe if you're lucky, you can afford 1. Realistically, you're going to have to get down into that Bryce Elder, the Walker Buehler range. And again, I hate it from a roster construction standpoint. Mini stacks are fine, but again, I don't like mini stacking a team with guys like Ohtani, Betts, Will Smith, Freeman, Hernandez that are all going to be 30+% owned. I like low-owned mini stacks to get me different in general. That's the breakdown I have for the Dodgers. I'm going to be underweight again. It feels scary in general, but at these price points with the spend-up arms and the way the roster construction works, like I said, I mean, there's other teams on the slate that don't need to even score as many runs as the Dodgers. They just have to be relatively close. I'll take my chances that one of the other 19 teams on the slate at their salaries that have allowed me to double spend up at pitcher and get a better floor than punt and play a Walker Buehler, play a Bryce Elder. That's the kind of route I'm taking here tonight. But what's your breakdown here in Coors Field? I think Sheehan paired with Dodger stacks is going to be pretty popular as well. Kind of naturally correlates a little bit there. Sheehan at 6,700 has strikeout upside against the Rockies there. So I think that's one way people are going to play it as well, is pair Sheehan with their Dodger stacks. Break it down for me.
Yeah, Gomber's he's terrible. I mean, he's just gives up all kinds of power. I mean, the WOBAs are off the charts. I mean, he's freaking 441 WOBA, 388 so far this year. I mean, he gets barreled up at 19.5% by lefties. Like, should we just go to the app now and bet on Freddie and Shohei to hit a homer off him already? I mean, maybe that's what we do. We just bet on that and did not play the stack, because of shit. If that parlay hits, probably pretty good anyway. But I don't know. I just feel like the top 6 Dodgers are even in play. So to me, all top of them 6 Dodgers are going to probably get some pretty heavy ownership, and rightfully so. They got a 7.17 total. So, and I mean, that Rockies bullpen might as well be pitching kickball. I mean, they can just roll it on the ground and you can kick it as far as you want. They suck. So, I mean, yeah, but then again, it's baseball. I mean, what did they score? 3 or 4 yesterday? I mean, so, I mean, they lost too, didn't they, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken? I'm pretty sure they lost.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Dodgers last 30 days, they have not been good. I mean,
they've been with the Tigers. Everybody talks about the Dodgers have been worse than the Tigers.
I mean, the Dodgers. So let me just break this down here real quick. The more we talk about it, the more it's probably going to go south. But again, it's a huge talking point on the slate. You look at the Dodgers in terms of OPS over the against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days, they're bottom 5 in the league. Teams like the Giants, the Twins, the Rangers. I mean, I mean, you name it. The White Sox, the Rockies. Rockies are top 5 or top 6 in baseball against left-handed pitching over the last month. Dodgers are bottom 5. And now they're all going to be, again, on a 10-game slate, 30 to 40% owned. I'll take my chances with spend-up arms and not have to punt pitching. Sure, can Ohtani and Freeman hit home runs? Yeah, absolutely. But is one home run, 14 points, 16 points at 6K and 7,200 going to be enough on a 10-game slate? I'm not certain. So I'll take my chances. If the Dodgers go out there and score 12 runs with 5 home runs, well, I'm going to lose tonight. I'll just say it. If I were to pick a side, I'd rather play the Rockies side of this game personally myself. You're going to get some leverage off of Sheehan there. I don't think Sheehan's very good in general. I love the lefties for the Rockies. Mickey Moniak, I think, is one of the better plays on the slate, especially as a one-off there. You look at Sheehan, 14% K rate to lefties, an 18% walk rate, allows a lot of fly balls. He allows fly balls to the right side as well. So any of the fly ball guys for me for the Rockies, which would be Fernandez, Moniak, both from the left side, I like them a ton. Tovar and Goodman. So 2, 3, 5, 8 for the Rockies are my guys. Pick out another one if you want to. Dodgers bullpen has also not been good over the last month. And I'm Team Rockies on this one in terms of offense overall. Definitely going to be underweight on the Dodgers again. I'm going to take my chances. It's not just because I think the Dodgers have the highest probability to score the most amount of runs on the slate. But again, roster construction-wise, I'm prioritizing spending up at pitcher over playing a team like the Dodgers in this one. I will say, if you are stacking the Dodgers, be worried about guys at the back half, guys like Freeland, Rojas, Alex Call. They pinch hit yesterday. Alex Call is likely going to get pitch hit for if soon as a righty comes in out of that bullpen after Gomber there. Same with Rojas. Those guys are just platoon guys at the back half there. So you're going to see some of those other guys come on off that bench if the game's remotely close like it was yesterday. Takes us to the late games here. Some games I think you can play a little bit here. I'm right back on the Reds here tonight. Reds didn't get the job done quite yesterday, but Kyle Hendricks, man, he doesn't get blown up, but I'll take my chances against Kyle Hendricks and the bad bullpen behind him. Anytime you have a sub 16% K rate to both sides of the plate, you allow power, you allow fly balls. You have a team like the Reds that can swipe bases as well. I'm back on the Reds. Reds are one of my top offenses on the slate. Ownership's going to be very low on them again. Full 9 in at bats. It's a very good place here to hit as well. A home run friendly ballpark. You got some decent weather, wind blowing out here as well in Anaheim. I'm going to take my chances. I'm right back on the Reds here. Let me down yesterday. I'm going right back to the well. I think Cincinnati's really good play in this one. No Angels interest for me. What's your breakdown?
Yeah, I like the righties actually against Hendricks here for the Reds. I mean, you can always play Ellie anytime you need to, but 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 with Stevenson. If he gets in there, I think that's where I want to lie here today against Hendricks. I mean, you mentioned Hendricks generally don't get beat up all that much. It doesn't seem like he just gets creamed, but I definitely like the Reds here. I mean, we like the park. We know it gives up a lot of runs. I mean, I was on the Reds and Indians yesterday. Didn't work out here in the late game. You know, you're sitting there with 0 all night because I actually had Robbie Ray, too, as my pitcher on that team. So I'm sitting there with 0 all night like, here we go. It's about to give the charge. And then it didn't charge for shit, and I went to bed and woke up in the same spot I went to bed last. So either way, Nades. But I think the Reds are in play, but I do prefer some of the righties in this one. But on the other side, some of these Angels here against Green, I mean, I think you could get a little bit of leverage. I don't love it, but I mean, you look at Green, he does give up some fly balls, especially to the left side. I mean, he's more of a fly ball pitcher. He doesn't keep the ball on the ground all that much. I just don't really like the power on the left side that the Angels have. But I mean, Green is definitely a strikeout fly ball kind of pitcher. We like that park, gives up all kinds of home runs. But I don't know. I just don't love it. But I think if you're playing a handful of teams, I definitely would not shy away from stacking against Green.
I would say Taylor Ward and Joe Adell, a little mini stack there. Both fly ball guys, both have a ton of power. Yeah, they can strike out. But again, at those price points with the leverage off of Green, if you wanted to in tournaments, that's where I would look. Taylor Ward, Joe Adell, I like those guys. Neto and Trout would be the other guys. But realistically, I'm not getting too crazy. I will say the Reds bullpen is dog shit behind Hunter Green. So if Hunter Green does get an outing shortage here, you do have some upside there. But I'm definitely more on Hunter Green as my favorite pitcher and the Reds offense in this one in general. Next game, we're going to Arizona. Erod on the mound, Tanner Beebe on the mound. We talked about both of these pitchers. If you did want to spend down, they're not crazy good pitchers by any means on this one, but it's a tough click for me to play the Guardians against a left-handed pitcher, personally myself. So that's enough to take me off the Cleveland side of this game. D-backs against Beebe. I mean, I think you could play some of them. I don't love this game much overall. I think it's a pretty weak offensive night, so that's why I'm more prioritizing spend up arms and hopefully gonna just find a stack that is able to fit with them, and I think the D-backs could make that script. But what's your breakdown here? Any D-backs, any Guardians for you?
I mean, Bobby has been getting beat up a little bit in recent times by righties. I mean, Kettle Marte is somebody I play. Gurriel, I don't mind. But, I mean, they took Suarez out of this lineup. It just obviously made it a little shorter. They haven't been the same since they, took him out. But, I mean, generally, the D-backs here so far this year has just been a tough out, especially for pitchers. They don't strike out much. So I just I don't love it there. And then, like you mentioned on the other side, I don't like to play the Indians against the lefty. They just don't have enough power for me.
Yeah, I think a little 9-1-3 stack would be interesting as a mini stack. Herrera, Perdomo, Carroll, all lefty power there, all hit the ball in the air against BB and his fly ball rate that he has to the left side there. So I think the lefties are a little interesting for the D-backs. But again, I mean, you're paying for them. Yeah, I mean, 4,800, 5,800, 6,100. Again, and I'm prioritizing pitching there. So the guys that I want to play in the D-backs are expensive. I think the lefties are interesting, though. Pavin Smith, I think the back half of this lineup is pretty interesting. And just pick one of the guys at the top is my preferred route to stack the D-backs in general. So McCarthy, Alec Thomas, Herrera, and then wrap it around and pick one of Marte, Carroll. So go kind of 5, 7, 8, 9, and then one of the guys at the top, one of the lefties at the top is my preferred way, because then you can still double spend a pitcher, which I want to do. So D-backs loaded their lineup with lefties in there. Adam Pavin Smith back in that lineup at 3,500 with the power he has. I think is pretty interesting. So D-backs. I'm come up on the D-backs a little bit, mainly the lefties. I like that lineup that they rolled out here against BB. Last game of the slate, Padres and the Giants. Giants hit 3 home runs or 2 home runs in the first inning yesterday against Mega Chalk. Nestor Cortez, not the same case here. Nick Pivetta on the mound. Kai Wei Tang on the mound for the Giants. He's kind of a glorified opener in general. Giants, good bullpen. Padres, good bullpen. If I were to pick a side, it'd be the Padres, but I hate this ballpark. I hate playing bats in this ballpark. Jackson Merrill, Machado, Tatis, Ryan O'Hearn. Some of these guys I think can make some sense here. But if I'm spending these salaries, I'd rather play the Yankees in Steinbrenner Field than play 5 stack in this park. But what's your breakdown here? Last game of the slate.
Yeah, we hate the park. We talk about that marine layer coming in, that fog coming in there, and it just makes it a little bit tougher to score some runs out there in San Diego. But yeah, Kai Wei Ting or whatever his name is, that dude blows, man. I think he's got more runs given up than he actually has innings pitched, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, he is not good at all, but we're only going to probably get 1 or 2 innings out of that guy. So not overly excited about that. And then you're going to get a San Francisco bullpen. Matter of fact, both 2 bullpens in this game are number 1 and number 2 in ERA. So yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's, once we get past that Kai Wei Ting, he's going to we're not going to really have too much left there, too much meat on the bone there. But yeah, I'm out. I mean, I think there's better games than that. Bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, 2 good bullpens and the park sucks. I mean, Padres do have a good implied run total. You actually like righties against this dude. You look at his limited sample, he's only going to go about 55, 60 pitches or so. He's been averaging around 61, low 60s in terms of pitch count there. So it's going to be overall a pretty short outing. But, I mean, a 33% walk rate to righties with a 14% K rate and a 400 ISO given up with almost 40% fly balls. You have to have some interest in some of this righty power. Guys like Laureano, I think, fit that script a lot. Xander Bogaerts has actually been good. Bogaerts hit a home run yesterday that got called back for fan interference, so I'm pretty sure he might be a little pissed off about that. So I think 3-5-7, Bogaerts, Machado, Laureano, I think is a really nice 3-man stack that can fit that script. I really like Laureano at 4K. I think he's a really interesting click here against Wei Tang, his reverse splits here. That's all 10 games on the slate. We talked about it. Gyiraszin, let's go ahead and give home run call, your favorite top-end pitcher, your favorite low-end pitcher, and then your favorite stack and a sneaky stack before we get out of here.
All right, we'll go my favorite pitcher. I think I'm going to have to roll with – I mean, I really like Pivetta. I think Pivetta and Green are my 2. I got them pretty close together. Low-owned pitcher, I'd probably go – I mean, if you want to call Erod low owned, I think that'd be about the only place that I really feel comfortable going. As far as stacks, we all know the Dodgers are the top stack here today. But for me, if I want to get a little bit different, I think it's going to take you to some like Orioles. It's going to take you to some cheaper stacks, like the White Sox that we talked about. But I think I'm going to go right back to the Reds. I like the Reds. We talked about them a little bit here. I think they'll be my favorite stack there. And then I actually think I like that game, the Orioles and the Red Sox game that we talked about right out the bat. I think if I was going to game stack one, I think that would be the game that I would game stack outside of course. So, but I do prefer the Orioles side a little bit more, but I kind of am just getting worried. Like if people are going to, if the Orioles are going to be paired with most of the Dodger teams, which a lot of the optos are spitting out, then I think I would put my Dodgers with some White Sox. I think that would probably be the better way to go. But if you're not going to play any Dodgers, I think then you play the Orioles, 5-man, the Orioles by themselves, and you go a different route. I think that would be better than to play the Orioles with the Dodgers. So, but yeah, I think the Orioles. And as far as the home run call goes, I think I am going to say, oh man, I think there's a couple guys that I like, but I'm going to call Austin Hayes that hit a home run for the Reds. And then I am going to go with, I'm going to go Byron Buxton too. Hit a home run off Lopez.
All right, Buxton and Austin Hayes. You like it? For me, my pitcher, I'm going to go Shane Baz at the $7,700 price point. I like his strikeout upside that he can have even against the powerful Yankees lineup. I'm with you on Hunter Green at the top range. I'll throw Carlos Rodon. I just don't think people click that name. And this is a spot where, I mean, the Rays just have not been the same team as of late. So I like Carlos Rodon all the way up at the top, especially against left-handed pitching. The Rays just have not been that great. I'm not too afraid of the righty power that they have in there. So I like that. I'm back in on the Reds. Reds and the Orioles are kind of my two favorite stacks of the day. I like the Boston lefties a little bit. And then again, those White Sox is kind of my sneakier teams. My home run call, I'm going to the last game. I talked about him a lot. Ramon Laureano, I think, takes one deep on Wee-Tang. I don't care what his strikeout rates were in the minors. He was kind of a glorified bullpen arm in general. Minor league, a lot of times these guys just do not translate to the big leagues, at least to start. That's what we're kind of seeing. I'll take my chances. Laureano, 4K, should be in the middle part of that Padres lineup. I think he is a nice click here tonight. That's going to do it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. If you're looking for a home for NFL season, SHIPITNation.com. Click the banner at the top. Last chance to get locked in for 5 bonus ballots in a $79,000 free roll at minimum. 5 additional bonus ballots. Get your chance there to hopefully get you one of those 50 tickets to the end of the year showdown where you're playing for over $20,000 first place cash prize, plus a SaberSim package, everything else that comes with it there. $349, the entire NFL season, college football, no additional cost there. It comes with our partner SaberSim as an optimizer as well. You have projection, you have everything, and you have free access to the rest of the site for the remainder of this month until NFL starts. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. For Gyiraszin, I'm Nades. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.